Greetings to everybody. Welcome to another Q&A meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. Everyone who is interested is welcome to join. Please let me know how's the audio and video. Sorry about the interruption again. Something happened by Facebook. It automatically cut off the audio transmission, video transmission. So I have to restart again. I hope you can see me and hear me now. And please send in your comment, the ones that I haven't read yet. I don't know what happened to Facebook. It just suddenly terminated the broadcast. And now I have to reconnect, restart again. I hope everything will be working okay. Okay, Christine Goe, good day, Long Paul. May you be healthy and well. Can hear you clearly. Thank you. Sulan Uwe, glad to see you again, Ajahn. Thank you. Let me go up back higher. Christine Goe, Selena Chiang, Tony Yip, Nong Lin, Satu Satu, Adeline Chin. Good afternoon, Tanajan. Glad video and audio working now. Thank you, James Song. Greeting, Ajahn. Check LinkedIn. Good to see that you are back, Tanajan. The audio and video are clear. Thank you. I don't know for how long. Today's Facebook seems to be acting strange. First it just didn't show the page just cannot be turned on, and now then it disconnect the broadcast, and now I hope it will not do anything funny again. Andy Fu, Satu Satu. Christine Koe, good day, Long Paul, thank you. San Su Lan Ui, glad to see you again. Tony Yip, dear Ajahn, is okay, everything is impermanent. Pasana Chunasevi, good morning, Prajan. The audio and video are clear, thank you. Terence T.H. Lee, happy belated birthday, Tanajan, thank you. Alvin Lee Wei-Peng, good morning, Tanajan. Can hear you clearly, Satu, thank you. Chonburi MTR. Nabiti Namasakara Ajahn, thank you. Loya Ying, good afternoon, Ajahn, Satu. Okay. So today I will have to cut short the meeting today about 8 minutes because of the problem and interruption, because I have some other engagement to do later on. So it will be a full hour here. It will be about 52 minutes. Loya Ying, good afternoon, Ajahn. Liberty Lee, good day, Monday. Audio, video, good. Any Lam Satu. Seems like everybody knows how to practice charity, morality, and meditation. So there isn't much question today. So far, none. What you need to do is to practice. Do a lot of practice. Once you know what you have to do, you give to charity when you can afford to, and you keep the precept always, and meditate by training yourself with mindfulness all the time, regardless of where you are, what you do. Be always mindful from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. Keep watching your body. Don't let your mind go think about other things when you don't have to. Keep it thinking, keep it watching, looking at the body. Whatever the body is doing, stay with the body. Don't go away somewhere else. Then you will have mindfulness, strong mindfulness. When you meditate, then your mind will not run away from your meditation object. You will keep focused on your meditation object, which should be anapanasati, on your breath. Keep watching your breath in and out at the tip of your nose. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to force your breath. Leave the breath natural. Let it breathe naturally. Just keep watching, focus, concentration on watching. Don't think at the same time. Don't go think about other things. Just keep watching. Then your mind can become calm very easily and quickly. Maybe even 5 minutes, you'll find a difference in your mind. Your mind from being restless, agitated, to become calm and peaceful. Okay, we have our first question today from Samanji, Sri Lanka. Regarding my question last week, whether the Buddha had mentioned in any sutta that a female body can become a Buddha, I am aware that irrespective of gender, one can achieve arahanthood or nirvana, just like Prince Siddhartha became a Buddha. Can a person who is destined to become a Buddha be born as a female on the very birth? Can a female achieve Buddhahood in that very birth itself? Like I say, it doesn't matter whether you're female or male. If you have the Noble Eightfold Path or the 10 perfection, you can become a Buddha. But it has to happen without the assist of another Buddha. Like you are born in a place where there is no Buddha's teaching. Nobody teach about the Four Noble Truths or the 3 characteristics of existence, and you somehow discover it yourself, then you can become a Buddha. Buddha means self-enlightened, not being taught by another Buddha or his teaching. So if you, for example, happen to be living in a very remote place where the teaching of the Buddha cannot get through to you, and you want to become enlightened, so you practice and look inside your mind, and eventually you discover the Four Noble Truths, the 3 characteristics of existence. Then you can become a Buddha. Buddha means becoming enlightened by yourself, not by the teaching of another Buddha. I hope this is clear enough. If not, send in more questions, I guess. Liberty Pante, the world is full of delusion, hatred, and greed. This is why Buddhism are not popular as other religions. Even wrong teachings in Buddhism encourage greed, hatred, and delusion. Sadhu. I don't like to judge the world. I just watch the world and let the world be. I'm not the judge. So people can choose what they want to believe or follow. If they don't want to follow Buddhism, that's their business. If they want to follow greed, hate, and delusion, that's their business. No problem with me. I'm not here trying to convert anybody to Buddhism. I'm just trying to elucidate the teaching of the Buddha to those who want to learn about Buddhism. If they don't want to learn, then no problem with me. Get Genso, dear Ajahn, greeting and stay safe. Thank you. Supa Barua, Sadhu Sadhu. Carmen CH, dear Ajahn, I have a difficulty of anger and hatred emotion now to my sister. I have been forced to move out in my sister's house because of her own interest reason of house renovation got to be done before next year. I'll find a place to rent eventually on next week. However, now in the midst of packing to move out, every time I see her face I got angry and can't forgive her. I cannot accept the way she treated me as a family member. Please advise Ajahn how to remove my hatred toward her as it is from my mental defilement. You have the wrong perception of her. You should look at her like your enemy. That's why she is acting like this. She doesn't like you. She's your enemy. So you cannot expect any mercy from her. You be thankful that she didn't kill you or do something worse. All she wanted for you to do is to move out of the house. Change your perception. Don't think of her as your sister. Think of her as your enemy. Then you can accept her action. Change your perception. Think of her as the weather, as the flood. If you suddenly have the flood in your house, you couldn't stay in the house anyway, right? Just go to someplace else, dry. Same way, look at her as your enemy or as the flood, because this is anatta. She's anatta. She's not your sister. She's like the flood or the tornado that just tore through houses in the States right now. In Texas, Oklahoma, people have to move to a new place because the house is being destroyed by the tornado. So you should change your perception. Then you will not get angry at her. Adeline Chin, dear Ajahn, if people always have bad comments and bad intention to say mean things, like bullies, sometimes you just ignore them because you do not want to create any anger or suffering to yourself, but they still keep disturbing you. Can Ajahn advise how one can deal with these people? The same way you deal with the floods, the hurricane, the storms. You cannot stop them. You cannot tell them to be nice. So let them be. Shelter yourself by not listening to them, by not being near them, if possible. But if you are near them, then just think of them as being the weather, being the storm or being the flood. And you just have to learn to live with them. That's all. What else can you do? If you think like this, then there will be no anger, no disturbance in your mind. Just accept that this is the cause of birth. Birth is suffering. Birth is not happiness. When you're born, this is what you have to come across. So if you don't want to face this thing anymore, then you should stop birth. That's the way to deal with the problem. Not to try to stop other people from being mean or bad. You have to stop yourself from taking birth. Eli Hassan, good day, teacher and all Kalayanamita. Good day to you. Cherry Stino, Sadhu Tanajan, happy to see you. Thank you. Happy to see you too. Eli Hassan, audio and video are clear. Thank you. Nanapat, Namaskaran with my respect, Tanajan. Thank you for your teaching. You're welcome. Alexander Aroka, Sadhu Sadhu. Wat Lauren, Sadhu. EOSC, thank you, Tanajan, for your inspiring and profound teaching every week. You're welcome. Fat Choi Chom, Sadhu. Hemlata M. Prajan, is it true that evil eye exists? If someone look at you and you fall ill, is this coincidence or evil eye? You don't get sick by other people's eye. You get sick by something wrong with your body. Either you get a virus or something, then you get sick, not by evil eye. Carmen CH, thank you, Ajahn, for your advice. Sadhu, you're welcome. Comas Music Live, Sadhu. Chayanit Yamada, good morning, Prajan. Good morning to you. Celestino. The first precept say not to willingly kill any living being. But if an animal that cannot clearly say it is in suffering and soon is going to die, what shall we do? Because helping in this case, it means killing. That's your interpretation of helping. Maybe you're not helping it, maybe you're hurting it. It's best just to leave it alone. Not your business to help by killing. You can help by administer medication, but you should not help by killing. This is just your interpretation of helping. Maybe the dog didn't need your help after all, if this is the help that you can give it. Killing the body doesn't solve the problem. The problem is the defilement that caused you to get into this situation. So we should kill the defilement, kill the cravings that caused us to take birth. Not killing the body doesn't solve any problem, but create more problem for the killer. Because when you kill, you are lowering your status from human to become animal. Joelin Te, Sadhu, Sadhu. Dylan Elvis, Sadhu, Sadhu, Bante. Celestino Anumodana Tanajan. You're welcome. Samanji, question number 2, last question. Many people will not consume meat if they have to kill the animal by themselves. They eat meat because it is being sold at meat store. By buying meat, they create a demand for meat. Haven't those who buy meat for consumption created a demand for meat, thus making the meat industry owner kill animals? I think creating demand, everybody creates some kind of demand. And being born is the real problem. If there's no human, then there will be no problem on this earth. So let's stop birth better. This will stop everything, solve every problem. Solve the one who take birth and solve the problem that is existing in this world right now. That's the real problem. The problem is not whether you eat meat or you don't eat meat. The problem is that whether you are born or not born. So stop birth, then there will be no problem on this earth. Because when you are born, you create demand for people to look after you, and people are different. Some people eat meat and some people don't eat meat. So your birth in itself is creating all this demand. Because when you are born, you have to be looked after by other people, by your parents, by your doctor, by your whatever, people that has to look after you to keep you alive. And these people, some of them eat meat and some don't eat meat. So they are creating demand for killing meat animals because they have to live in order to look after you, take care of you. So it's better for you not to be born. It's better not for everybody to be born. And when there's no birth, no human on this earth, then there would not be killing of animals. Liberty Lee Pante, is there any way we can witness the process of rebirth? My old dog is dying soon. He's like a son for me, Satu. When you go to the hospital, where they give birth to babies, those are all rebirth. But we just don't know which one, where they came from, that's all. But they all came from previous birth. When they died, they had no body, so they look for a new body. So when they found a body, they then take birth in the hospital. Eli Hassan, Ajahn, if we are not now about the teaching, no question arrives. Is it okay? Or should a student need to ask so the teacher will know the progress? Doesn't matter. If you don't have question, then you don't ask. If you have question, you ask. The teacher will know whether you have progress or not from your behavior. I look at my students as being in advance or in progress if their hair becomes shorter and shorter. I look at my student by the length of their hair. If the hair becomes shorter, it means they are advancing. Eventually, they will shave their whole head. They will have no hair. Then they have really advanced to the very advanced stage. Because they can now ordain and live as a monk or as a bhikkhuni or a mechi. Sulan Ui, dear Ajahn, there are some who are born lacking one of some of their senses or even feelings. Is it easier for them to practice because they have one less distraction? It depends on what type of faculty that they are missing. If they don't have eyes or ears, then it will be difficult for them to study, to learn from another teacher. So I don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Just look at yourself and be thankful that you have full faculties. For those who doesn't have, it's their problem, not yours to worry about. Keep it sure. Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, I have another 26 minutes left. Today I'll stop at about 30 minutes past the hour. Amy Chinawong, Namaskaran Prajan. I drove my car and a bird smashed into the windshield and it died. Is it a sin? No, you're not breaking the first precept because you have no intention. It's considered to be accidental. Liberty Lee, Pante, human are biological programmed to have sex and rebirth non-stop. 8 billion human on earth now. A human nature meant for self-destruction. Great suffocation, sadhu. This is not human nature. This is what we call defilement. Greed, hatred, and delusion that cause rebirth and suffering. Not suffocation, but suffering. Birth is suffering. Birth is dukkha because it is followed by aging, sickness, death, and separation from the one you love. These are all dukkha, or sadness, or misery. Eli Hassan, today at 2 p.m. Ajahn has another Q&A. I will have live talk in Thai, live Dhamma talk in Thai at 2 a.m. And then at 3 p.m. I will give Q&A in Thai or in English. If you want to ask questions, you can send in your question through Facebook Live on my Thai page. Not on this page. You have to go to the Thai page. Edilam, Satu, Satu. Ten Siu Hong, Satu, Satu. Chiu Chan, dear Ajahn, when lay person touch again the fruit given to the monks, monk cannot consume them. Why is it so? Because it is interpreted that you take back your fruit, you change your mind. and you want to keep the food, not give to the monks. So we have to let you reconfirm by re, re, give the monk the food again. Because once you touch, it is considered automatically to belong to you again, not belong to the monks. So the monk cannot touch the food once you touch the food. So once you present something to the monk, then you don't touch it, no matter for what reason, unless he tells you to do so. When he does that, usually he also puts his hand on the food also to let you know that he still processes the food, and he might need your help to help move the food. So this is what it means. When you touch the food, then you have it given to the monk, and if you want it back. So if you wants the monk to have it, you have to give the food again to the monk. Ten BK. Good afternoon, Ajahn. If I am constantly angry with someone at home, sometimes even the sight, is there anything I could do to lower this defilement? Or is there anything I can do to react in positive manner when anger arises? Well, if you want to prevent anger to arise, you have to look at the person as anatta, meaning something that you cannot control, like the weather or the clock. The time keep moving. You cannot stop the time from moving, so you cannot stop people from being what they are. Just leave them alone. When you get angry, you can use Bhutto to stop your anger. Keep reciting Bhutto, and don't pay attention to the object that makes you angry. When you forget about that object, then your anger will disappear. So when you get angry, try to stay away from that object, physically and mentally. Physically by walking away, mentally by keep reciting Bhutto. Then after a while, you forget about that person or object. Then your anger will disappear. Then the next time when you see that person, just think of that person as a natural phenomena beyond your control. So you don't expect anything from that person. When you don't expect anything from that person, then you will not get angry. Pante is divorce due to karma from Port Lawrence. It's due to your defilement, your craving. You want something different. What you have now seems to be undesirable to you. So you want to change. You want something different. It's due to your defilement. You're craving for something different, something better, or worse. CG Lim, Satu Satu. Amsa JW, Namaskaran Pajan. Celestino, there is the Eightfold Path, taking to the deathless of an arahanthood, and then there is the Sammasambuddha path, taking to awakening or Buddhahood, that one can choose to follow or not. Can you say a bit more about this, Ajahn? Both paths are the same. Eightfold Path or Noblehood path is the path to the cessation of suffering. The only difference is that the Eightfold Path is there because the Buddha have discovered and then he shared with other people. But if there's no Buddha in existence, Then if you want to become awakened, you have to search for the Eightfold Path yourself. That's all. Like Prince Siddhartha, when he became a monk, there was no Eightfold Path taught by the previous Buddha. So he had to look for the Noble Eightfold Path himself. Once he had found, then he become self-enlightened, become a Buddha. And then after that, he shared this knowledge with other people. Other people then become an Arahant, which is the same thing because they have reached the same destination, which is Nibbana or Nirvana, where you don't have any more dukkha or suffering, where you take no more rebirth. Right now, you have the Noble Eightfold Path, so you don't need to look for it yourself. But should you be born during a time where there's no Noble Eightfold Path being taught in this world, then you have to look it for yourself. Vibatili Pante, do Thai Buddhist school teach children about rebirth is dukkha? Sadhu. Usually this is for more grown up. With children, we teach them to be respectful, be grateful to their parents, their teachers, be respectful and not hurting other people, teaching them metta, loving kindness, things like this. As far as rebirth is more for the more grown up people, for those who question why birth is full of suffering. Hong Bi Chin, thank you, Mom. You look well, good. Thank you. Tan BK, thank you, Ajahn. Chiao Chang, Ajahn, when we meditate, our mind is reciting mantra. But I notice when my eye is concentrating on one place without moving in closing position when reciting mantra, the mind can easily go into samadhi. Is it to not moving our eye is helping? I think closing your eye is helping. Yeah. Opening your eye is not helping. You should close your eyes when you meditate. The Morning Star, good afternoon, Tanajan. Thank you very much for your teaching. You're welcome. Shelly Stino, thank you, Tanajan. You're welcome. Ramsa JW, I feel again for anger as today my dispute done about my daughter last 3 weeks. He was sent me a message to disturb me this morning and call me, but he asked me to forgive him and do not angry. But that message made me angry again today. Normally I forgot all what happened story already. Because you have no equanimity, you have no ubeka, so you should practice mindfulness, recite Bhutto, Bhutto when you became angry. I have about another 13 minutes left for this meeting today. So if you still want to send any more questions, you can send them in now. Please don't wait for much longer because I won't be here more than 13 minutes or so. Prangsat JW, thank you, Ajahn. You're welcome. The real cause for this world problem is birth. If there's no birth, then there will be no problem. If there are human beings, if there are animals existing on this earth, then there will always be problem. So if we can somehow stop rebirth by everybody stop reborn, human and animals, then there will be no problem on this earth. So let's stop our cravings, the cause of our rebirth. Craving for sensual pleasures, craving for beings, and craving for not being. This is the cause of rebirth or birth. Once you have birth, then you have to look after your body. So you need the four requisites of life: food, clothing, shelter, and medicines. So you have to create these things. So you end up destroying things on this earth by producing what you need for your existence. So the best way is to stop rebirth or birth by stopping your cravings, by practice the Noble Eightfold Path or the triple training called Sila, Samadhi, Panya, or Dana, Sila, or Pavana. These are practices that will stop rebirth. At least you will get yourself out of the problem once you can stop rebirth. Let those who take rebirth deal with their problem. And no matter how much they deal with their problem, if they don't stop rebirth, they will never be able to stop their problem. Because they will keep creating more problems, creating more demand. The more demand you have, the more problem you have. Alexander Aroka, the key to living in seclusion only requires ubeka, and that means living sunyata. Yes, you have to have a calm mind, empty mind, then you can live alone in seclusion. Being Sadhu Sadhu Tanajan. Sulan Ui, dear Ajahn, the Buddha said that good friendship is the whole of the holy life. How do we develop or maintain good friendship? By associating with good people like the Buddha and his disciples. Then you will have good friendship. Because they are good people. Because they have the four Brahma Vihara. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Ubekha. Eli Hassan, Sadhu Sadhu, stop rebirth. Thanks teacher, you're welcome. What Lawrence Lowe, Bhante, can meditation help in negative thinking? What kind of meditation will help? Just mindfulness meditation. Stop your thinking. When you're thinking negatively, stop it by reciting mantra, Bhutto, 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 until your negative thinking stops. Then you can direct your mind to think positively or realistically. Positive or negative is not so important. You should think realistically, not think in delusional terms. Celestino, comment, mindfulness is the first unshakable spiritual happiness that anyone can achieve by own wise discernment and right effort. Thank you for teaching how to get to it, Ajahn. You're welcome. What Lawrence, Sadhu, Sadhu. Okay, I have another 5 minutes or so left to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, please send them in now. Christine Lim, thank you for this beautiful Q&A, Ajahn. Have a good day. You're welcome. What Lawrence Lowe, Bhante, can we send metta to departed parents? By sending merits. Metta has to be done with action, not just by merely thoughts. Thoughts alone is not effective at sending them something. And you can send the departed parents merit by making merit through charity, by charity. When you have done charity, then you have merits to share with your departed parents. This is a way of sending metta. Not by just saying, oh, I'm sending you metta now. This doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make them, they don't get anything from you just sending you a message. You should send them gifts instead, like merits. So if you want to send metta, donate $1,000 to charity, and then you can then share this merit from your charity to your parents. This is a way of sending metta to your parents, your departed parents. If they're still alive, you just send them the $1,000 to them directly. You don't need to do through charity. But if they are departed, then you have to do this through charity. You have to change the dollars into merits, and then you can then send these merits to your departed parents. This is a way of sending metta. Eli Hassan, stop three cravings, sensual pleasure, being and not being. If we are still not purely succeeded, it means still will lead to rebirth, right, teacher? Yes, but hopefully already have a food printed in the way. Print a food is not enough. You have to stop your cravings entirely, permanently. Okay, I think that's about it for today. Thank you for your participation in this meeting. I hope that you has benefited from this meeting and help you advance in your practice. In the meantime, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay mindful, and keep on practicing. And if all goes well, I'll see you all again at the same time next week. Thank you and goodbye.